Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another On the Water with Dustin White. Dustin, how are you?
Marvin, I'm enjoying my evening. I just got home a little late from the water, but can't complain.
Yeah, I hear you've been keeping it on the DL on the mile and doing pretty well.
Yeah, I've had some water to myself the last few days out there, so that's been great. But, kind of across the board, we have a ton of stretches of water to cover. And so it's kind of that really fun time of year. Everyone's kind of spreading out a little bit and, kind of finding their own little stomping grounds of where to fish. And so we're really grateful for that.
Yeah, it's a little different than the high season where you're taking turns rowing counterclockwise through a pool, right?
Yeah. None of that. There's none of the carousel really happening now. We're just, in that really, really fun time of year to where you have a ton of water to fish, a ton of options. I think Blake, our owner, did the, tally the total number of river miles at some point. And I think it's north of 130 miles of water, we have to row. And additionally, beyond that, we're hitting that time of year, we're kind of hitting our stride where we really have some just fantastic streamer fishing, really dynamic dry fly fishing. So folks can come out and they can, target fish multiple ways, whether that's tripping streamers, swinging flies, throwing dry flies, hopper dropper. We can indicator nymphs still if we want. It's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's always good when you can get things to work out for the strippers and the swingers.
Exactly. And in the same day, 2 for 1, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's just good, clean fun. And so
absolutely.
You want to break down kind of the 3 major sections for us?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So for the Grey Reef section, I would extend that beyond, just the top 8 to 12 miles of the reef, but we'd go the whole way, through Casper, right now. And so right now, they've just dropped our flow. So we're sitting at 500 CFS now. So it's going to be there at winter flows, for the, really the duration of the winter into the spring. Feasibly. So, with that, it is pretty grassy right now. We just started getting those really, really kind of cool nights. So that grass and that moss that grows on the substrate is starting to break off and it's kind of suspended throughout the column. So, if folks are bobber fishing, you're going to find yourself probably pretty frustrated on a good bulk of the river. The kind of way to get around that, obviously throwing dries, dry dropper, hopper dropper, and oddly enough, streamer fishing, there are some ways to kind of combat that. So, I would say, probably avoiding the bobbers is the way to go. But thankfully for that, we've got some pretty killer hatches. Tricos are coming off in the morning. Caddis are kind of following slightly after that. In the evening, the caddis hatch is still pretty thick and only increasing, but we're seeing some other cool bugs too. We're seeing blue wings coming off, midges, also some sulfur, some crane flies. There's a verifiable smorgasbord of bugs in the evenings. On the mile section, I'd say the hatch is pretty similar. But we have clean water there, so you're not contending with all the grass, with all the moss. There's just, it's pretty clean water. Most of the grass on the mile is still attached to the substrate, and the water temps are a little bit warmer, a touch warmer there. So that's kind of why it's not breaking off quite yet. On the horn, still pretty mossy, still pretty grassy, same sort of bugs, same sort of hatch you're going to be seeing. But there's definitely a lot more nymphing options there if folks want to do that. In terms of, on all 3, streamer fishing has been more kind of tan, natural colors have been working best. I've been having my best success, Marvin, really avoiding kind of inside corners with all that moss that's kind of gumming up. It's kind of on those inside turns. So finding the structure, finding the shelves, pitching on those lanes where the grass is still kind of connected. Those fish are hugging on that. And I've been fishing with my clients a sink 6 to kind of punch through that real quick and then get that rod tip nice and low in the water. So you're kind of stripping below that suspended moss that's kind of breaking off right now.
Got it. And got a question for you from Jay. We got your question this time, Jay. And Jay is a newbie boat owner and wanted to get your thoughts on, advice for newbie boat owners and must-haves for the boat.
Nice. Yeah. So advice would be, get out there, get on the sticks, row with, in a lot of different conditions. Learning how to scull, I think is the most important thing. So realizing what the, how do I say it, tendencies of your boat would be, with power application on your strokes, how that boat responds to what you're doing, where you're at in the water. But learning, how to, some folks call it, we would call it sculling here in Wyoming. Some folks, I know in Michigan, they call it sliding, but it basically is a little bit of the, pat your head, rub your belly, sort of disjoining two different things at once to learn how to crab or crawl that boat so that as you're rowing and kind of holding a line for your angler, that you're not putting one in a really kind of awkward position by having that boat sort of cockeyed a little, much in an extreme way. We'll say. So part of the rowing process is kind of learning what you're hoping to do with your angler. So, if you're streamer fishing, kind of rowing is going to be just trying to keep pace, bleeding off a little bit of the current and pounding the banks, generally speaking. If you're throwing dries, you're wanting to kind of stay out of eyesight of those fish. But if you are indicator fishing, really the goal is to have your clients cast as little as possible. And so part of that is, once they cast off the side of the boat, you really are trying to keep that boat, pretty much in pace, parallel to your anglers, indicators to their lines, whatever they're fishing, and minimizing the necessity to recast over and over and over again. That really becomes the more so than I think, honestly, Marvin, fly selection really is. Really, if you're fishing, indicator fishing from the boat, it really comes down to rowing those lines and minimizing the necessity to recast over and over and over again for success. That really is going to come down to just time. And so learning those strokes. So, first stroke you're going to want to learn paired with your concept of what a ferrying angle is your reverse stroke, push stroke, and then starting to learn how to scull, how to crab that boat. That's going to be the thing that starts to set folks apart. Generally speaking, you get about 80 to 100 days on the water, and you're going to be pretty comfortable on the sticks at that point. In terms of things for the boat, it kind of depends on what storage would be. But obviously you want to have all your safety gear on it. So your life vest, a throw bag, and then some first aid in the boat. Beyond that, good rod storage, good storage for your gear, your tackle, and then cooler, some good beverages and snacks for the day, and if applicable, some good tunes.
Yeah, I would say in a bottle opener and some toilet paper. How about that?
Well, yeah, you mount that on the leg lock. If you get that mounted on the leg lock, if you get a TP dispenser and a bottle opener right on the leg lock, you're in pretty good shape.
There you go. Maybe we'll get Dude Wipes to sponsor the Fisher Report next year.
Oh yeah, there you go. That'd be a plan.
Well, folks, we love questions on the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us or DM us on social media. If we use your question, I will send you some Articulate Fly swag. We're going to enter a drawing for a half a day of fishing with Dustin, and we've got one more shot to get your questions in, and then 2 times down the road, we're going to actually have the drawing. So you got one more shot to have a chance to win a half day on the water with Dustin, which I highly recommend. And Dustin, as I always say, we have to give a shout out to a local dive bar / restaurant in the Casper area. What have you got?
Yeah, want to definitely shout out Stall Tree Brewing. They're just down the road from our friends at Mountain Hops, but just really, really great little hole in the wall microbrewery. But they definitely have the bougie beers there. So a little bit of the opposite end of the spectrum from the PBR Tall Boys we were talking about last week. On the last episode, but just a great hang. They're really, really active in the community. And so we want to champion them. They make a killer product, friendly staff, great hang, and as I said, they're constantly involved in stuff going on here in Casper. So we're grateful for them and happy to shout them out.
There you go. I guess so. If you're looking for a sour or a gozer or something, head over there, right?
Yeah, or the quadruple IPAs, the insane stouts. They're such a great spot, and you never kind of never know what you're going to find on the menu there. So we're big fans of Skull Tree.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, I know your Western season is starting to wind down. If I remember correctly, you were pretty booked in October, but you want to let folks know kind of how to get on your guide calendar out west, or I know you'll be back east kind of around the holidays to do some steelhead fishing, how people can catch up with you and get on the books.
Yep. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram at Dustin James White. You can give the Ugly Bug a call, area code 307-234-6905.
Well, there you go. Well, folks, as I always say, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dustin.
Tight lines, Marvin. Thanks so much.